What's happening, Manhwa champions? Don't forget to leave your feedback and smash that like button. Now let's dive into this epic tale. The scene opens with birds soaring high above, their peaceful flight starkly contrasting the grim atmosphere below. A deep rocky valley flanked by towering cliffs. Between these formidable walls stands a mysterious man clad entirely in black, a part of his face concealed, wielding a sword gleaming ominously under the sunlight. In a swift and deadly strike, his blade slices through the air with a powerful swoosh, cutting down a man dressed in purple, whose blood sprays vividly across the rocky terrain. The black-clad man, bearing a prominent scar across his face, coldly announces, "I'm busy. All of you, come at me, together." This formidable figure is Chun Hajin, the infamous assassin of the righteous Heavenly Alliance. As Chun stands amidst the carnage, a massive group of warriors emerges behind him, their purple robes emblazoned with a fierce tiger emblem. One man steps forward defiantly, sneering, "You're far too confident for someone who's only slain a few of our comrades." "Just a few guys?" Chun retorts sarcastically, his voice dripping with disdain. The warriors brandish their weapons, shouting fiercely, "We'll grant you your wish!" They launch themselves into the air, weapons drawn, lunging toward Chun. With chilling composure, Chun merely casts a side-eye glance at his airborne attackers. At the very last moment, Chun effortlessly swings his massive blade in a graceful arc, severing one enemy cleanly at the torso and swiftly decapitating the next mid-air. Blood and limbs scatter grotesquely around him. "I don't even remember how many I've killed," Chun muses darkly, gripping his enormous sword tightly with both hands. Another attacker is brutally cleaved from neck to torso, his body collapsing lifelessly to the blood-stained earth. Chun's powerful slash sends a blast of wind hurtling towards the remaining pursuers, momentarily halting their advance. Standing amid the swirling blood and debris, Chun's face remains partially hidden, but his fierce aura radiates unmistakably. He continues his grim internal monologue. "I simply cut down those who pursue me again and again." Undeterred, the purple-clad warriors rally, their leader raising his spear defiantly, shouting, "We have only one enemy. Don't let him push us back." Another enemy yells boldly, "Chun Hajin, it's time to die." Chun, unfazed by their threats, tightens his grip on his blade. Anger simmers in his voice as he steps forward slowly, challenging, "You want me to die? When the wind of freedom I've sought for 30 years is finally within reach." Digging his feet firmly into the sandy earth, Chun prepares for a devastating lunge. His eyes blaze with a ferocious intensity, declaring inwardly, "You bastards are the ones who deserve death. If killing all of you is what it takes to achieve my freedom, then so be it." With a powerful burst, Chun charges into the enemy ranks. In a breathtaking flash, he effortlessly cuts down 8 men in a single dash, leaving utter carnage in his wake. Panic spreads among the remaining warriors, yet their desperation propels them forward. They attempt to encircle Chun, swords thrusting from all sides, but then freeze in terror, eyes wide in disbelief. Chun stands atop their crossed blades, silhouetted heroically against the blazing sun. "Impossible," one man stammers in horror, sweat pouring down his face. "He's one of the top 10 strongest martial artists," another exclaims, his voice trembling. "The world's best assassin, the Assassin King, Chun Hajin," another shouts, fear palpable in his tone. Suspended momentarily above them, Chun's eyes glow golden with a fierce determination. With a deafening sonic boom, he plunges downward, slamming into the earth with such force it sends seismic tremors throughout the valley. Bodies fly in every direction, shattered by his terrifying strength. When the dust settles, Chun stands at the epicenter of devastation, the ground cracked and broken for miles around. Exhaustion weighs heavily upon him as he quietly admits to himself, "I'm tired. Have they finally stopped coming after me?" Yet before he can find relief, more pursuers rush forward, trampling over fallen comrades, shouting, "The Assassin King is over there. He's at his limits." Chun grimaces, sweat cascading down his brow, frustration evident in his tense expression. He mutters bitterly, "Damn it! There's no end to them." With immense effort, he heaves his blade from the shattered earth, eyes emanating a fierce blue energy. Glaring at the incoming warriors, his voice shakes with fury. Do you truly despise the thought of me gaining freedom that much? Facing the overwhelming display of Chun's terrifying aura, the three men freeze, their faces pale with dread, dripping sweat, unable to approach the looming figure whose power seems to dwarf their very existence. Chun stands amidst swirling intense blue energy, his eyes now burning a fierce, menacing red. He bellows with fury. "Don't block my path! I'll kill you all!" Gripping his sword tightly, he unleashes a devastating swing, releasing a wave of brilliant golden energy. The overwhelming force blasts his pursuers backward, hurling them violently into the canyon walls, their cries echoing through the valley. Suddenly, an ominous voice echoes through the air, cold and accusing. "Chun Hajin, you might hold the title of Assassin King, but you are nothing more than the righteous Heavenly Alliance leader's dog, a soulless, murderous demon." As night descends upon the valley, the moon casts its pale, ghostly glow onto the rocky terrain. Chun trudges forward, exhausted, sword dripping with the blood of his relentless pursuers. His breath comes in heavy, labored gasps. The accusing voice relentlessly continues, cutting deep into his conscience. "You've obeyed orders to kill without hesitation. What do you know about life? Half the world curses your very existence." Behind Chun lies a trail of devastation, bodies sprawled lifelessly across the ground, the grim evidence of his brutal escape. Bloodied and disheveled, Chun presses on toward the exit of the rocky valley. The voice persists, mercilessly taunting him. "Your entire life is drenched in death." Painfully, Chun grips a deep wound in his abdomen. With a grimace, he yanks free a dagger lodged in the injury, causing blood to pour forth uncontrollably. He collapses to the ground, blood splattering the desert sand beneath him as he coughs violently, struggling against overwhelming agony. "I must survive," Chun shouts with desperation, his voice echoing defiantly in the emptiness. "I've lived as the righteous Heavenly Alliance's dog my entire life." Wiping blood from his mouth, Chun's weathered face becomes visible, an elderly man marked by deep scars, white hair, and a flowing white beard, evidence of a life steeped in violence. Summoning sheer determination, Chun rises, biting down on his lip to endure the pain. "Damn it! I finally became free by cutting those chains. Get a grip, Chun Hajin!" he roars to himself, plunging his sword into the earth to steady himself. Mustering his remaining strength, Chun bolts forward, dashing desperately through a dense moonlit forest. His breath comes raggedly, sweat pouring from his forehead as he encourages himself just a bit further. There's a secret place nearby. I can heal my wounds and recover there. In his mind, Chun visualizes his sanctuary, a serene, secluded cottage nestled among towering rocks and lush foliage. "I will finally become free," he whispers resolutely, urging himself onward. Yet exhaustion overtakes him once more, and Chun collapses onto the forest floor, gasping for air. "Before I treat my wounds," he murmurs wearily, "I might lose my mind from hunger. Only a few pieces of beef jerky in 7 days. I'm starving." Staring up at the moon, Chun's thoughts drift longingly. "I could really go for some dumplings right now." At that very moment, a shadowy figure darts swiftly across the moon, blocking its light. The unknown assailant, cloaked entirely in black and wearing a straw hat and mask, lands with tremendous force precisely where Chun had just lain. The ground ruptures, scattering gravel violently. Instinctively, Chun leaps into the air, narrowly evading the devastating strike. His eyes widen in shock, teeth gritted in tension as realization dawns upon him. A stealth technique so advanced even I, the world's best assassin, didn't notice. He hovers momentarily above the mysterious attacker, heart pounding as the deadly confrontation looms. The camera zooms out, revealing two warriors facing each other amidst a dramatic backdrop. A massive rock behind Chun violently split by the sheer power of his mysterious attacker's landing. The assailant, previously standing still, suddenly moves like a phantom, swiftly closing the distance between them. "That technique," Chun thinks, astonishment evident in his widened eyes. The shadowy figure swiftly pulls back his sword and lunges forward, unleashing an intense blue aura slicing through the night. Chun narrowly dodges, yet the devastating energy wave cuts effortlessly through nearby trees, leaving chaos in its wake. The camera captures the widespread devastation from above, a testament to the assassin's unparalleled martial prowess. A skill powerful enough to cleave the forest with mere sword aura, Chun thinks in awe. Sweat drips down the masked man's partially revealed face as he casts a wary glance at Chun, who skillfully evaded his lethal attack. Chun lands gracefully on the opposite side, breathing heavily, sweat streaming down his face. He stares intently at his formidable opponent and utters with grave recognition, "Deathlord!" The scene expands, highlighting the fierce battlefield as wind rushes dramatically through the shattered forest. The two men, positioned back to back but separated by a significant distance, stare resolutely in opposite directions. Chun speaks firmly, voice strained yet defiant. "I understand why the righteous heavenly alliance pursues me, but to think the Steelblood Fortress, the Steel King's 8 elites, and even you would intervene." Slowly turning to face each other, Chun continues with scathing disdain. "Did you really think the Murim would acknowledge someone like you as one of the top 10 martial masters if you simply cut down an opponent exhausted from fighting hundreds of warriors?" His eyes blaze with anger, his voice rising fiercely. "You, who'll be sliced to pieces, fighting a nearly spent warrior?" The Deathlord's eyes flare red in frustration, and without further hesitation, both warriors leap into the air with extraordinary speed. Their swords aimed forward, they clash violently mid-air, metal against metal, igniting brilliant sparks. The camera focuses sharply on the duel, both men suspended briefly, swords locked. Suddenly, blood sprays from the Deathlord's side, a quick, unexpected strike. Both combatants land opposite each other, visibly drained from their explosive confrontation. Blood begins to spill from the Deathlord's mouth, dripping onto the forest floor. A grievous wound marks his neck from their brief, intense clash. Chun, still gripping his sword slick with blood, watches grimly as the Deathlord's sword hand falls lifelessly to the ground. Exhausted, yet alert, Chun exhales deeply, his breath heavy and labored. Casting a suspicious glance to his side, he calls out coldly, "If you're done watching, how about you come out already?" Suddenly, the forest begins to wither, the lush greenery wilting, trees decaying rapidly as a figure gracefully strides forward. Delicate purple shoes step lightly through the dying foliage, leading up to a stunning woman clad in an elegant white and pink robe, surrounded by an ethereal pink aura. A chill of dread visibly grips Chun as his gaze meets the approaching figure, his voice trembling with fear. "Secret Demon Queen!" Stepping fully into view, the captivating woman smiles enchantingly, her striking yellow eyes locking onto Chun. Her voice, soft yet commanding, resonates clearly. "What an honor it is for you to still remember me. Has it been about 6 years?" She pauses, her graceful smile broadening slightly, eyes twinkling mysteriously as she greets him. "Long time no see, Chun Hajin." The scene returns to the grim battlefield from earlier, a deep rocky valley bordered by towering, imposing cliffs. The moon casts its eerie glow upon countless bodies sprawled across the desolate terrain, grim reminders of Chun Hajin's fierce battle. Amidst the silent aftermath, a lone horseman slowly rides through, accompanied by his subordinates carefully examining the fallen warriors. One subordinate approaches a lifeless body, flips it over roughly, and urgently calls out, "First Elder! All the corpses here belong to the martial masters of the Steelblood Fortress." The camera shifts focus to reveal the distinguished elderly man upon the horse. Clad in a pristine white robe, his long white hair and majestic beard convey a powerful presence. This imposing figure is none other than the righteous Heavenly Alliance's First Elder, Jung Ilryong. Eyes narrowed and intense, the First Elder surveys the carnage before him. A menacing tone fills his voice as he addresses his subordinates. "To think Chun Hajin slipped past our insurmountable net formation and slaughtered so many Steelblood Fortress martial masters. He truly lives up to his title as the Assassin King." Raising his hand commandingly, he summons his followers to gather around him. Immediately, all subordinates hasten to kneel respectfully before him. With a voice that echoes with authority and menace, the First Elder commands, "Follow the death energy left by the secret Demon Queen. That is where Chun Hajin will be found." This dramatic command signals the chilling conclusion of the first thrilling chapter of Chronicles of the Demon Faction. Will Chun Hajin survive the deadly confrontation awaiting him? What secrets does the secret demon queen hold? Find out in the next episode. But before you go, don't forget to tap like if you enjoyed the episode, subscribe for more epic recaps, turn on notifications so you never miss a chapter. And with that being said, Manhwa Champions, we're going to bring this video to an end. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will catch you all later. Peace.